I see what America's doing with its NCAA athletes, where they're getting millions of followers. Was it Caitlin Clark, the basketball player right now? Over 1 million followers on Instagram. Not even a professional athlete, you said. And you're like, this is the expectation and the sort of reality that actually exists in that sport for a young person trying to make it in, to try and find their confidence on their own journey and not see someone else's and compare themselves, and to see all these externals. How are we trying to block that out, really? I think you've got more noise closer to those age groups than we do here, right? We don't have college athletes being sort of lauded like that. So I'm really interested how you sort of create them on their own journey rather than seeing this huge one that's in front of them.
It is a challenge. I think the reality of social media, something we talk about a lot. This generation, the high school generation that is right in front of me right now, they haven't known anything different to social media. They've grown up with it. They've grown up with an iPhone. They've grown up with access. So that's a little different to implanting our own backgrounds. Like, when I was growing up, I didn't have that, et cetera, et cetera. Our coaches sometimes bemoan that, but our student athletes have always had that experience. So it's probably not alien to them. I think what we do try to do, and mental performance is part of the support services, but we have other departments. So we have a leadership and character development department, and their job is to support them and develop them and get them to think of themselves as, more than just an athlete. And what are the things, my values, what are my principles, what are the things that are really important to me beyond being an athlete? So instilling a sense of values and understanding, what does it mean to be accountable? What does it mean to be a person of virtue? And what does it mean to have integrity? So when we have, and it's very difficult, but when we have individuals, we have young people that have a strong sense of values and who they are. We have, athletes from phenomenal families, and they've already instilled some of these things in them. When you have those roots, sometimes that external noise can be lowered. It's not going to get eliminated, but it can be lowered. So we've got to make sure that we support them in those domains and make sure, again, focusing on the things within their performance environment that they can control. Peer comparison, that's so high here that it's almost, if you can work your way through it at IMG, once you get to the college level, it's not going to be too dissimilar. So this is really set up in a way that it is a baptism of fire, but we hopefully that we put as much support around them. How do we make sure that athletes' confidence is not, or what would I say, is not, diminished completely? Well, that is obviously part of our role. I think fundamentally we have to understand for them, what are we putting confidence in? What are the things that we are attaching our confidence to? If it is purely outcome based, the reality of this place is there's almost always someone better than you, and you will be put on your butt pretty quickly. I always give an example. We had the number one tennis player in the United States come here at U16. So one of the best was the best in the US, came to the academy, and he's not in the top group. Why? Because we had 6 players in the top 15 in the world. So you think you're very good in the United States, and you come here and you're against the best players in the world. So again, that's a forcing function. All of a sudden, you learn humility. You learn that, you're not going to win every match. You are going to get beaten. But we make sure that we've performed. The other thing, Lewis, that we try to do, it is a competitive environment. So I think growing up, you might have one game every week. These athletes play a lot. So you learn quickly how to lose. You learn hopefully how to win, and you learn a lot of lessons along the way. Now, we can't say that those lessons are always, we want to be intentional around those lessons. We want to make sure we reflect on, we make sure that we set them up. But they're going to learn lessons. We just want to make sure they learn the right lessons, because sport can teach some pretty bad lessons too. So all that kind of goes into that, get them to reflect on who they are as a person from their values, make sure they have support system in play, have a competitive environment, learn how to win and lose. And ultimately, if you can't, and I say this tongue in cheek, and I try to measure this with our athletes, but if you can't handle it at a high school level, you will not be able to handle it at a big Division 1 or a professional level. Now, we are here to support you. You have to meet us halfway. If you can't do it at a high school level, you have to reevaluate how good you are and also what your aspirations. If you can't handle it with 100 people on the sideline, you can't handle it with 90,000 on the sideline. That's the reality. So there's some tough conversations in that piece, and I don't kind of word it like that with athletes, but that underlying tone is understanding where you are.
Hello, you legend. If you've enjoyed this video, then you might enjoy this video right here, which is the full unedited episode. Go on, head up to it, up there. Go. Also, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss out on any new videos. I'll see you soon.